It's streaming, I think. I think we're live.
Yeah, so
All right.
now that we've made the decision to delete Wizard101 and Pirate101 permanently and use all of that money to buy Roblox, company's fantastic.
Yes.
Mobile Roblox.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
How's
hello.
everyone doing today? How is Chad? Hopefully you guys are doing great. Sorry we had some technical difficulties, so the stream didn't start. I mean, we're 1 minute late, so that's fine.
Also, literally everyone just got an ad, so this might be the first thing that they're hearing.
That's true. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone in chat is doing great. Hello, hello. All right, I'm not going to read chat. Huh? Go.
Hi, gamers.
Hello, gamers. Thank you, KI, for the follow. I appreciate that. So, I'm not going to be reading any chat today, or very little chat today, and notifications are not on. Just an FYI for everyone in chat. Sorry. And today we are going to be doing a voice acting roundtable with the voices of the Spiral, Chris, and we're also talking to 4 beautiful devs from KI. You guys can introduce yourself. We'll start with Kaylee.
All right. Hello, my name is Kaylee Ginsberg, and I'm the marketing manager at Kingsisle. I do marketing things. And that's me.
So, I'm Hercules. I'm the community manager for Pirate101. And if you didn't already know that, whoopsies. Stick around. We'll have some fun.
I am Sam Johnson. I am the narrative director for Kingsisle, which means that I used to write a lot, but now I mostly wrangle other writers. But I'm in charge of story and dialogue and that sort of thing.
I'm Mike, and I haven't been fired yet.
I love that intro. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. All right. Today, we are going to be asking you guys questions about the voice acting experience at KI and some of, like general questions about voice acting in general and how the process works for you guys. We're also gonna, once we're done with questions, we're gonna be doing some voice acting prompts. So for everyone in chat right now, start suggesting if you would like voice acting prompts that you would like the voice actors and the writers from KI to do, and then we'll do them at the end of the voice acting part. And then afterwards, we're gonna have a section where we're gonna be recapping all the things that happened at the Community Spiral Cup and everything like that. Oh, I'm here twice.
My camera keeps being weird.
That's fine. Welcome back. But yeah, so we're going to be recapping the Community Spiral Cup at the end, but for the first good portion, we're going to be doing voice acting roundtable. All right. Are you guys ready? We will start with the first question. Chris is going to be asking that.
All right, so here we go. This first one is for Kaylee. What's it been like getting into voice acting for Kingsisle as someone who's new to it?
Really cool and daunting at the same time. I remember as a fan of the game, I had played for like 7 years before I started working here. One of my bucket list items was to voice something. I didn't care what it was. I didn't care if it was one line or one word or just me dying. But I think I went to Mike and just pretty much said that, like, I don't care what it is, just one thing and I'll be happy. And so I did end up getting something. It was, I believe, Electra Stormcloud was the very first character that I voiced. And that was just my regular voice. And then I think during that same session, I'd also done the Crazy Cat Lady, just because I tried a weird Jersey accent and they liked it, I guess. So I was really nervous that first time because I didn't really know what to expect or what the process was, but everyone made me super comfortable. And I had a lot of fun. And I didn't think I was going to come back to do more after that. I was like, I'm happy with that. I'm good. I think I did okay. But then they asked me back for Lemuria and Novus, so I guess I did okay, or enough to come back. But it was really, really fun.
Can we get a sampler of your crazy New Jersey accent?
Oh, geez.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of a a good line that I had said.
Larry, you blockhead!
Oh yeah. Yeah, block.
Oh, your mic
Your mic
cut
cut
out.
you out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that
I did
happened
not want
in the
that
reading
to
too. Well, you'll have to imagine it because I think my Jersey accent is just way too high. I don't think my mic's gonna let me do that one.
That's awesome though.
The Jersey cannot be contained.
Absolutely
Too
not.
much for the mic. All right, so for our next question, if you had to choose a single favorite character that you have voiced, who would it be and why? We can start
Yeah,
with
you want to take that first?
Sam.
Sam, yeah.
I would say it would have to be Fool, although that's 2 characters, so I'm cheating. But that's the one. I loved doing Blind Mew, but Fool was much more fun.
Blind Mew for some reason is my favorite character in Pirate. Like I love him so much, and I was so happy
He's
when
awesome.
you guys did the birthday quest and like built off him a little bit. Like yeah, nah, he's an amazing character. He does so little, but is very loved.
Cool.
All right, Mike.
Mine is probably a relatively obscure wizard character, Riddler, or based on the Riddler slash the Joker, called the Quizzler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my very bad attempt at doing Mark Hamill's Joker.
It's spot on.
That
I
was
like
really
every time I
good.
hear it, I can't believe that that's not Mark Hamill. It sounds exactly like him.
And it's a
Bless you.
very memorable character for just being like a very for being on for a very short time.
Yeah, I should have written a bigger character. For it. I managed to sneak it into the promo videos for the Creepier Carnival bundles.
Yeah.
That's like really good.
It's
Warner Brothers
crazy.
wants to talk to you.
Oh yeah,
'cause Mark Hamill
he's
super
he's really
expensive.
good.
Mark, if you ever want to chat, hit me up. I'll let him do all the talking.
Yeah, Demon. Mark pops into your stream every now and then, right?
Yeah, totally. All the time. Me and him are best buds.
Never know with that guy.
And what
My
about
favorite
you?
voice has to be Maxwell Sharp. Getting asked to do a Tim Gunn impression, that was fantastic. If you're not familiar, if your mom didn't watch Project Runway on the TV and you were there watching it with her, then you might not know who Tim Gunn is, but he's the designers make it work. Elegant man. If you're a fan of Spy Family, he is elegance incarnate. Yeah, that was my
You
favorite.
did it quite well, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about you,
Kaylee,
Kaylee?
do you have a favorite?
I think the top 3 I've done is 1, the Crazy Cat Lady, because that one was just
Mhm.
fun. The second one, I think maybe the Snow Queen, just because it was so bizarre. We had originally tried doing like more of a fairy tale, what you would expect from like a princess,
Mhm.
and we're like, what if we just try doing like a metal, really dark voice? And so we tried that. And I guess we liked that one the most because that's the one that made it in the game. So that one was cool because it was just weird and bizarre, and I thought it was fun.
Mhm.
And then my last one was actually the fairy tale high-pitched voice, Princess Pesca, which also was really fun to do. I was actually doing that voice in the office randomly one day, and people were coming out being like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, that was me. They're like, what? And I was like, yeah, I know.
I mean, it was funny. Sorry for cutting you off. Keep going.
Oh, that was it. I was just going to be like, yeah, it was really funny that people didn't know that it was me doing that voice in the office.
Well, because I was talking to Chris a few days ago, and we talked about that, and he told me you voiced that specific character, and I was like, no
Mhm.
way, actually. Because, like, most of your other characters, I feel, are very close to your own voice, right? And that one
Yeah,
was...
I'm definitely not as skilled as the other people in this call at masking my voice. I haven't gotten to that chameleon level yet, but maybe with some practice. But yeah, that one, And some people don't catch my Jersey accent either. Like I
Mhm.
did a cow in Lemuria that a lot of people didn't get was me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a personal victory when people can't know it's me, and I'm like, yes, they didn't figure it out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, what about you, Hawk? You didn't say your favorite character in game that you have
Yeah, you did.
voiced.
Yeah,
Maxwell
Maxwell Sharp.
Sharp?
He said,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Did you just forget Maxwell Sharp?
Yes.
man.
It is not very elegant of you. God, there's like 3 people laughing at that right now.
He may not be in game right now, is he?
Oh yeah, is the
Test?
Wizard Test Realm still being test realmy?
I
Yeah,
haven't done
that's-
the test
it's
realm
Yes,
at
it
all
is.
this event.
I only pay attention to the better 101 video game.
Well, I will say my favorite voice of yours is the one that will be coming out in the better video game soon.
Yeah, it will be. That's exciting. I wish we could
Ooh.
talk about it.
All right.
We can only sort of talk about it.
Okay. We'll ask more questions about it then at the end if we can kind of sort of talk about it.
We shall see.
All right. Awesome.
That
Next-
would be telling.
Indeed.
All right. Next question. Are you ready, Chris?
Yeah. So next question is from Kristen Wizard101, and she asks, "What's your #1 favorite line you've recorded for one of the games, if you can think of one?"
That's a tough one.
We should have probably given them a heads up on that one.
Yeah.
I've said a lot of stupid things.
I will jump in and say that it is a blind Mew line. I may be blind, but I have acute hearing. And I can't take credit for that because I stole it from a movie called Yellowbeard, which is by a bunch of the Monty Python guys, which is where I totally got blind Mew from. There's a lot of him running around in there. And in the movie, he was played by John Cleese and was really, really fabulous. So there you go.
A really good answer. That's a classic. That's a classic line.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you took both 101 games and surgically removed everything that is a reference or directly influenced by other pieces of pop culture, you would have a character creation screen, and that's about it.
And that's what makes KI games is the references, the dad jokes, and just like, you know, the dry humor that makes it so fun. I love it, and I think
Dad
everyone
jokes.
else does too. No?
Dad jokes.
No,
Okay.
No, it's a lot of fun.
All right.
Oh,
I
dad
love all the
jokes, not
references.
bad jokes.
Yes.
Dad jokes. Oh yeah, there's tons of
What's
dad
crazy
jokes.
is 70% of the references probably fly right by most people.
Oh, 100%. I bet.
They're
Yeah.
I guarantee you, like Chris was, or Hawk was not too far off when he said like we would have just the character creation, because like, even down to like the names of the characters, like it
Yep.
might not necessarily be germane to the story that's being referenced,
Mhm.
but like those names usually come from something.
So do you have a favorite line, Mike, that you can think of?
Not really, but I can tell you the one that was the most fun to do, like in the booth. I wrote a quest in Mirage, a side quest based off of Layla, which is an old Derek and the Dominoes song, which is the reference that is skirting by most of our players. Eric Clapton. So I just got to scream Layla as close to on key but off, so that we would not get sued, because I did it for longer than the 3 beats or whatever. So it was very hard to unscream it the way it's supposed to be screamed. But that was a lot of fun in the booth, and having the audio engineer go, "That's a little too close to the song." A little too bad.
Almost there.
That one was terrible. Oop. No,
I
I still hated that one.
I need to change my answer. I finally thought of the real one.
Okay.
It was Achilles in Aquila. It's not a rumor. It's not. Who told you that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was. And that actually arose just very randomly because we wrote all those quests, and in the read-through, which we always do before we record, I just read it as Arnold, and everybody went, "Oh my God." And we liked it so much that I went back and, like, very quickly before we got to the booth, I wrote in 3 or 4 additional jokes to make the Arnold riff work better. So there you go. I think Achilles was probably my favorite dude. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have a
For me,
favorite?
it's definitely the battle noises. Those are a hoot and a half. going through all the vowels and making up, watching the character you're voicing through their animation of their crit and going, okay, yeah, how would I sound if I were in the middle of a battle, swinging an axe and doing a backflip, and then you pull something out of your head like, whoa, and you look up timidly at the audio guys, and sometimes they're like, no, that was terrible, and sometimes they're like, nailed it.
So I'll piggyback off of that. When we first recorded, like, we call it ADR, which isn't the actual, like, industry term, but when we're doing the combat noises like that, we did a bunch of it for Pirate and then had to redo it. So, like, the Wharf Rats all have the same ADR. Once we had recorded Milo Greytail, we just kind of decided to use his combat for all of the Wharf Rats, and then the crit system came online, and our one of our sound engineers, Bobby, is just was a musical genius. He is a musical genius. He just doesn't work for us anymore. And he wrote, like, these incredible little shanties. So it's a 10-second shanty, like, while the Wharf Rat is ramping up, and we had to, like, jump back in to make the wah fit shanty because it was so good. And I was like, I can't stand the way it sounds because it's messing up his shanty. So it was a lot of fun to get that video, put it on my phone, and then, like, I'm sitting there playing it for myself in the booth just to re-record that crit animation.
So Kaylee, did you think of a favorite line that you have?
I was just gonna piggyback off what Hercules said and said that's really fun to do, but it's also so awkward, at least for me, because you're literally just making sounds into a microphone in an empty room, and it's kind of hilarious. But as for my lines, Larry a Blockhead is a classic, and the other one that I thought was pretty funny and fun to do was, I don't remember the beginning of the line, but it's in Lemuria, and it's in the trailer where I go, help, something, and I'm ever so delicious. I've noticed that I'm pretty good at playing damsels, and I think that's because I always joke with my friends, if we were in a horror movie, I would definitely be the first to die. So I feel like that's a very easy mode to get into because that is just me. There's fight, there's flight, and freeze, and I am flight. The one time I went to the house my first time, I ran straight into a wall, and I really hurt my shoulder. There was a dude with a chainsaw. I wasn't having that. Bye.
So you decided to concuss yourself?
Just injure myself.
Well, first there was a hesitation, okay? There was the chainsaw, the dude came up to me, and I just froze, and I looked at him, and I didn't say anything, and we just stared into each other's eyes for like 3 whole seconds, and then I took off running.
Like, is this about to be a meet cute, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm terrified.
Oh wait, I'm supposed to run. Bye. Fun times.
All right, are we
You wanna
ready
take
for
the next question?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So, what's the development pipeline on dialogue like for from writing to all the way to in-game implementation? So, like, how do you go from writing to adding it to the game? Like, what's the process?
Well, it's actually pretty darn well. I mean, there's a lot to it. So the first thing we do is we come up with the gist of the story. You know, oh, you go here, then you go here, then you go here, and then, you know, boss fight. And then we turn that into an outline, which is accurate down to quest goals. And in there, we will point out, you know, fights versus this versus that. And we'll put in dialogue, but depending on which writer you're dealing with, some of the dialogue is very temp, or some of it is very close to real. And then, like I do very temp. One of my other writers does very close to final. And at that point, we write the quest docs. And when we write the quest docs, the actual, you know, we go to the actual dialogue, and that is where it is either, you know, pasted in or perfected. And at every point, you know, we have reviewed everything internally. So by the time we're done with the outlines, we know we like, you know, the direction that the story is going, et cetera, et cetera. And then once we have the scripts done, then our primary focus becomes getting it into the game. And I'll let Mike take this one.
I wasn't paying attention. So when so we you know, we've got our script, and then we look it over. We've got a read through. We kind of get a nice feel for things. The read through is a great place for someone who's there technically just kind of reading lines, for us to discover, oh, listen to that New Jersey accent. We got to work that into the character somehow. From there, someone spends a good amount of time like poring over the characters, figuring out, like, all the writers try to give you a definition of what the characters are, and then I just go through and I go through our stable of actors first, the people who are KI players, and then branch out to our regulars, and I'll think like, okay, I know, name drop, Jason Liebrick can do these awesome things, and I'm like, oh, I remember 2 years ago we had somebody come in and she was doing this kind of accent. I bet we can bend it and it'll sound really good for this confrontation. And so that turns into a cast sheet. We've got a good stable of independent actors that are usually available when we need them. And then we've got a talent agency that supplies a lot of actors to us. And from there, I will send an email to our talent agency and say, this is the broad strokes that we're looking for. Like, you know, we need a lot of like French accents. And so from there, that casting director will go to her talent and say like, all right, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And we don't do a whole lot of auditions anymore. Back in the day, we used to, but we've kind of got our system down so much so that I like to kind of think of it almost like the way a cartoon works, in that we've got our actors for the most part, and then we just have them do different voices, different characters, and then we go into the booth and make magic. And then we've got 2 sound editors who have to pour through it all and choose the best takes and deal with all the booth rewrites where we decide, ooh, this word sounds better, but we're not going to go through the trouble of updating the script. That's your job. And our sound editors make a lot of magic happen after the recording process. They've got all their little filters and knobs and turn things into gold. And then they kick them out into MP3s, and world builders hook them up to quests.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
That is where dialogues come from.
Yeah, I mean, it's an in-depth process, but it also seems pretty straightforward, like, for the most part.
It's a lot of work. There's a very, very good reason why a lot of games don't have full VO.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that's great about this game is like, for me, I really enjoy listening to dialogue. So that's one thing that like really stuck to me as a kid when I was playing this game, is because I could just sit, enjoy the dialogue, you know, immerse with the characters. It makes it more relatable too than just reading it. So
Because you're a good person.
Yes, I'll take that.
Yes, you're one of the 10% or so who actually listen to the stuff.
But
bless.
the
So what do we,
10% really appreciate it, I'll tell you that.
Cool.
What do we think the odds are that we can get an entire like April Fool's joke? Not this year because it's not enough time, but next year. What do you think the odds are we can have just Mike Sears and Sam Johnson sit down for 8 hours and voice every line of dialogue
In the whole game.
in the entirety of Pirate 101 and have a mode where we can just switch, and then you can hear it as you progress through the story, both of them getting very tired and frustrated and starting to just veer away from the dialogue.
8 hours
Wow.
would get us through like the first half of Lemuria.
So
There's a
much work in these
That is
games.
insane.
Lot of dialogue.
Yes, there is. And speaking of a lot of dialogue, it's funny, you know, for a long time, one of the biggest, obviously one of the biggest concerns you have is, oh, don't talk too much, don't talk too much. And we have guidelines about, you know, how long an individual pane can
Mhm.
be, because we have a thing we have to fit inside of. But also there are guidelines about don't ever have more than 4 panes in one interaction. And yeah, as Pirate went on, we got talkier and talkier. And as Wizard has gone on, and we've had to deal with, you know, Spider and Raven stories and
Mhm.
other stories, and explaining that worlds are artificially created, or talking about who the heck Dasein is, they've gotten very talky. And I'm
Mhm.
always worried that we're going to hit the wall of, nope, all the fans say, screw this, we're not, you know, we're done. And we haven't yet. It's pretty cool. I haven't ever seen the complaint of it's too talky, man. Although those people just probably, you know, stop listening in
Mhm.
spacebar. Eh.
I mean,
So
the more information you give us, the more we like the world just becomes more and more immersive, and you know more about the world, so like you feel like you're actually saving it for your, like, you know, you're part of it versus just like trying to get to max level to farm gear. So I personally like it when they talk, you know, when they like give us like, you know, backstory on how the spiral was created, and like about like the titans and the dragons, and how they fought together and all that stuff. Like I really like that part. Like I really like learning about, especially when you talk about like before the wizard comes to the spiral, like what happened before that. I think that's like the most interesting part of the story too, is like when you sneak it in and you're like, okay, I can fill it in. Okay, I know what happened there.
like when your mom puts carrots in the spaghetti sauce.
And tells you there are no carrots in there.
Sneak in the vegetables.
Exactly.
Yep.
Awesome. I think we're gonna move on to the next question, which is by someone. Chris is gonna read it.
All right, so yeah, this one is from Festive Piggle. Does the writing team provide any feedback about how a certain character's voice should sound, or is that left up to a different team or department?
No,
100% the writing team.
that's all us.
Okay.
During recording, we will sit and direct or coach, or, you know, whatever. And we generally have a pretty good idea going in what we're looking for.
Mhm.
And so we will tell an actor, oh, you know, make it something like this character from a movie, and with a touch of this.
Mhm.
Or, you know, we will go in and say, somebody just stole your most precious thing in the world and you're really mad. And they'll do the line, and we'll be like, maybe put the weight more on "and I'll get you" than saying, you know, "and I'll get you."
Mhm.
So yeah, we massage this stuff a lot, and it's all us.
Back in the day, the old audio director had a lot of control over that, but it was more just because he was trying to get his job done. So a lot of things would come out of the like recording booth, and you're like, oh, I guess this frog is from New Jersey. Cool. Like if if anybody remembers, like when Marleybone shipped, like all the bad guys were like, "Hey, yo, look over this, Big Ben. Forget about it over here," because like I'm guessing, like we didn't really have writers as like the writing process was different at the start. I don't need to get into that, but like our old audio director would get like what amounts to a script, and it would just say thug, and so he's like, I don't know anything about these people, I don't know anything about the world. I know that the person that this person is talking to is this reference, so I guess we'll go with something from that same movie. And it was really disjointed, and it bothered him for years, and he finally snuck in, like he fixed Marleybone voices over the process of a couple of years, so that most people have an English accent.
Yes, they're
Like
gangsters, but now they're British gangsters, as they should be.
You said that you guys sit during recording, so every person that records dialogue for the game, are the writers sitting there like just listening in and making sure that it fits their vision of that character?
At least one of us.
Okay.
Since the lovely age of COVID started, typically there will be one of us in the room with the booth because it's a small room, but the other writers will be listening in via remote stuff and throwing out comments as needed.
Okay.
Yep.
I direct the sessions now, so yeah.
Yes,
I'm there.
Mike is the head director.
Awesome.
And they give amazing notes. I've always found them super helpful, and it really helps me when I'm doing or trying to do voices. So I've always really appreciated that.
I wish they wouldn't throw so many Rotten Tomatoes at us during recording, but that's the process.
I know that.
We got to do something with them.
Yeah, you got to make sure they work their best.
Be inspired. Be inspired.
They don't do compost in my neighborhood. Eh?
You got to get rid of them. Yeah. Awesome. All right, and the next question: how much flexibility do voice actors get with the scripts? How has an actor ever suggested a change that improved something that was put into the game?
Absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah.
But it depends on the actor.
So it's not set in stone, but it's a very, like, you guys push on a specific idea that you have, but it's not set in stone until you listen to the actor and see what he's capable of and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. You go, Mike.
So a lot of times we kind of write to our actors now, which is a crazy awesome benefit of being able to work with, for the most part, the same actors for like over a decade. So lots of times, like just in the brainstorming part, like what we're doing now for the next world that we've already talked about, so I could say the name of the Wizard world. I won't. Like as we're talking about doing the outlines and everything, I'll be able to say, hey, I know Chris Greismer does a really good like Steve Irwin. So you can kind of guide at the early part and make sure that those characters kind of sound like that. But he was a perfect example. In Caramel, we had no idea that he could do a spot on Werner Herzog. So that character changed to a Werner Herzog riff because we asked him to do German, and then he started doing the Werner Herzog, and we're like, oh my god. And like it was easy to just say, okay, Werner wouldn't say this, he would say that, boom, character's done. So when you've got really good actors, sometimes you lean on them, and then there are other times where you're like, no, this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger reference and I need you to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Yeah, that's definitely the
Sorry, and I
benefit.
think I cut Sam off. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. If the actor is saying the line and all of a sudden the words aren't rolling well, they can come up with, well, can I use this word instead of this one? And we'll go, yeah, and we'll often go, oh, that's better. So yeah, they don't have infinite latitude, but they have a lot of latitude.
Okay.
The Swamp Gauntlet was a perfect example. We let Mr. Liebert run free, and there were lots of just changing a couple of words because he was like, "This is how I would say it," or this is how this character that lives in my head is now coming out through my mouth would say it, and you're like, 99% of the time he's right, so you don't even question it. You just go, "Yep." But like if Hawkules tried that, there might be a little bit more pushback.
Yeah.
Poor Hawk.
I do silly voices. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's nice to have an external filter telling you, "Oh yeah, no, that was garbage." And you go, "Okay, yeah, not that one anymore."
It's just how's it fit in the script?
Awesome. All right, I think we're gonna move on to the next question.
All right. So this pretty much builds off what we were just talking about. Has there ever been a line of dialogue that's been recorded by a voice actor where they had to do many takes before getting one that felt right?
I'll take that, Mike, as like all the time.
Not all the time, but it's been. I've been doing this for 13 years, and yes, it happens. It happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Kaylee?
I am flashing back to when they wanted me to do a French accent for Novus, and I did a terrible job, which is very ironic because I actually took French for 8 years, and I can do a French accent when I speak in French, but trying to do it in English was so difficult for me. I don't actually know if it ended up in the game. It would surprise me if they used someone else's, but I did attempt a very bad French accent, and I feel like we went through that so many times, and I felt so bad.
Oh, at one point, Mike asked if I could do a Cajun accent, and I spent a couple hours, 2-3 hours over the course of a weekend finding reference material, studying. And at the end of the weekend, I sat down and I tried to do the accent in earnest. And it never made it to the booth because it was just hot, steaming garbage. I did an honest day's work in trying to learn it, and I tried it, and it's like, yeah, that was garbage. I won't do that.
Luckily, the other voice that you worked on worked perfectly, and we were able to spend our time on that.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm excited for people to hear it soon.
Cajun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can we get a sample of the French accent and the Cajun accent? Please.
Okay. Oh no. I'm gonna close my eyes so I don't have to see myself do this.
They are derivative.
They're very derivative. Don't quote me.
Come on now, Chef.
The bayou's got plenty of gators coming out, and it's somewhere there's someone Cajun crying for no reason suddenly, and they don't know why, but they deserve it.
I'll throw that one back to the gators.
All right, and what about that French accent?
Oh, jeez.
How would you say Larry, you blockhead, with a French accent?
Larry, you blockhead.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
That was actually okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe I'm improving.
Definitely better than my lost cowboy in a swamp somewhere.
Swamp cowboy. Oh, I love
Yeah.
All right, and our next question. What would you say the most challenging part of voice acting is?
Getting a bad
Breathing on the
director.
mic.
A bad director. So not leading you in the correct vision that you're supposed to take that character in.
I've had directors who didn't know what they were doing, and so they were talking at me and not helping me. I personally, when I'm directing, I try to be a cheerleader, because I don't think you can be creative when you've got somebody micromanaging you or telling you what you've done wrong, as opposed to emphasizing what you're doing right. And somebody in the booth, doesn't even have to be the director. If there's any negativity, it can kill your vibe, and you just can't do it. There were times where I was doing a character that I'd done many times, but the person who was saying roll and cut was not feeling it, not into it. They weren't necessarily paying attention. They got fired the next week, so I felt a little better, but it was an awful. There's some. It was while we were recording for Azteca, and I can't remember exactly. It was still pirate pre-production. But there are lines like you can hear the Velociraptor. There are some lines that I just have no juice because the contract audio director was being horrible, and I'd also done some of the Monkistans, and he just kept telling me how racist my accent was, and I was like, I'm very sorry, but can you tell me what I've done wrong? And he just gave me the whole well, if you don't know, then you're never gonna know. I was like, oh, my confidence was just shot, and then I was toast. And I was listening, I was playing through something not too long ago, and I can hear the two Velociraptor lines that are, or Velociraptor, that I'm just like, and what if the moon was made of cheese? Because I was inside my own head.
Yeah, you didn't want to do it. Yeah, it you were done with it. You didn't want to voice that character. Yeah, definitely.
He's taking those lessons to heart, by the way. I've been in the booth with Mike directing, and every time I've walked out of that booth, my chest has been inflated. I'm like, I am great, thanks. Mike and the team are fantastic at using positivity to direct a good result.
That's awesome. That's signs of great leaders and great people that are moving the voice acting forward, which is great that you guys are doing that.
Yep, Mike is a fabulous director. It was a role that he grew into very easily. Yeah. So as regards,
haven't been fired yet.
That's true. As for me, I think the hardest part of doing the voice acting, first I would say it's not sounding like myself. I am not to the chameleon point either. You can tell it's me. The one time you couldn't tell it was me, they had jacked up the pitch or jacked it down. What?
No, I got something out of you in my favorite character of yours that you hated. You were in. It was like a side boss in Lemuria.
Okay.
I remember. I can't even remember what it was, but I just kept pushing you, and you were mad at me. But it was fantastic. It was so good.
But the other thing for me personally is that it is grueling to do this. No matter where your booth is, you can be in the most professional place in the world, or you can be in the corner of someone's family room where they've rigged up some kind of fake thing. It doesn't matter. It is hot. It is unbearably tiring, and I always wreck my throat, and I will come home and tell my family, "Oh yeah, I was in the booth." But I mean, dude, freaking what was his name? The Sinbad Gauntlet villain.
Oh, the Iron Sultan.
Yeah, the Iron Sultan. Good God, I destroyed myself making that one. It was great fun. I love how it turned out, but damn, that was hard to do. Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah. Well, and with that one too, it's just like to get it out of you. And this is, you see on TV, you see voice actors doing stuff and moving around, and you have to do that, And for that one, I was just, I strained my back doing the moves. and the yelling for that guy.
You have to actually become the character. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think for me, there's three things. One, the accents, which I mentioned earlier. Doing accents well is such a skill, and I admire the people who can just go in and out of different ones so easily. Because I'll be focusing too much on doing the accent that I lose the acting part of it, and so it's very hard to do both. And I think people really underestimate how challenging that is. The second thing for me personally, and everybody at the company knows this when I speak in all hands, I am consistently dehydrated. So trying not to croak during my recording sessions is a struggle. So I gotta remember, okay, I know I'm recording, gotta drink more water than usual, and more water than usual is just any water. And the third one, also personally for me, is just trying to be more silly. I'm a very timid and shy person, and I do care a lot about what other people think, even though I shouldn't. So trying to like get out of my shell and be like, Mike doesn't care, Sam doesn't care, nobody cares what I'm doing right now. And just trying to be me and have fun is also challenging at times, but I've gotten a lot better since my first session, in my opinion.
I think that was what was so fun about that session, is we were all like, Vanessa Mythdust is on something.
Oh yeah.
Where did this come from?
I had the same realization.
Like even for like the first like couple of months when you started working here, like I know I personally like remembered the little girl who came in and was like, "Hi, I'm Vanessa Mythdust, and you might remember me from all these blogs that I've written." And yeah, I really love the game. Thank you. I love this so much. And then she got on and we were thinking like, yeah, maybe we get like a little fire cat kitten voice out of her or something. And then Larry, you blacken. It was fantastic.
It was so fun.
That was the read through, and we were all just like, what?
Yeah.
Shocked everyone.
I'm glad y'all enjoyed that. I had really a lot of fun doing it.
That was the plan from the beginning, just to like come in quiet and then shock you guys in voice acting.
Planned out. 3 years in the making.
What about you, Hawk, with your new voice acting career?
What's the question again?
What's the hardest part of voice acting?
Consistency.
Consistency.
My brain loves and adores the novel. And so coming back to a character that doesn't have a direct practiced impression like Maxwell Sharp, fantastically easy. Because a lot of voice actors will use what they call, I don't know if this is the industry term, but it's essentially activation phrases. So you've got a phrase that brings you back that you can do like out of the blue, designers make it work, and then that flows into the rest of the voice. And a little fun fact about that, I used to work for a Renaissance festival, and when you've got 5 people in a truck going to the local Walmart to get supplies, and you're all dressed up in your Renaissance gear, the funniest thing in the world is all 5 of you sitting in a cramped truck madly whispering to yourselves your activation phrase to get back into a regular accent. The beer's in the back of the pickup truck. The beer's in the back of the pickup truck. And all 5 of you walk into Walmart going, "Hey, but I can't grab the race. That's too tall from me." You're too deep into it. Consistency is the hardest thing. Like with my camera and having the white balance correct. There we go.
I thought you were dancing.
This. If I'm doing this, I'm trying to tell my camera the skin is pale. Don't show the back. Show the knee.
Awesome. That was really good answers. I really like that. All right, we're moving on to the next one.
Yes, this one is from Zaptor the Fox, and this is for Sam. What was it like playing 2 voices for Fool and having to switch between them?
It was fantastic. It was great. And I mean, one of the things that we can, of course, do is when you do the scripts, we can have all of the main voices and all of the nice voices on their own thing. So it's not like I had to jump back and forth that much. But mentally, just while writing him, it was great fun. Yeah, Fool other than Achilles, he's my second favorite character. I loved, being able to switch between basically the Chief Blue Meanie and then this other voice that I got from a very scary movie. Yes, about someone who was going to kill you and have you executed. And and having him argue with himself was just so much fun.
Which voice did you enjoy doing more? Which side?
Oh, I would have to say the nice voice.
Okay.
The nice voice was much more fun to do because, it could go places. It had music in it, and all of that. Whereas the other voice is very straight up and, doesn't ever really vary. So there you go.
Awesome. All right. So for our next question, are there any characters whose voices are not what you envisioned for the character, but ended up, like you didn't start off with that vision on that character, but the voice actor or the character just ended up being something completely different while recording?
I have a hard time coming up with an example, but I can tell you definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
And the fact that Ratbeard doesn't sound like Ben Durbin throws me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great voice actor. I don't want to put any disrespect on that performance, but I've become so accustomed to Ben Durbin as Ratbeard. When Ratbeard starts talking, I'm like, this isn't right.
Have you tried to get Ben Durbin into the studio to record, or is that not something that you tried?
We have not tried.
Because I remember a while ago, I don't know if it was him or if I'm just misremembering, but I remember him saying something on like you asked him or something like that, and he tried like doing a voice, and you were like, nah, never mind. No, is that true, or am I just making stories up right now?
Could have been the old audio lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
We always try to have a cadre of voice acting talent inside the office, because you never know when you're going to need help ASAP.
Yes. Much easier to wrangle schedules that way.
Or when you find hidden gems.
Yes, we have been very lucky with our KI players.
Awesome. All right, so for our next question,
this one is from Blowflower Club Penguin. It is, who is the voice actor that has voiced the most characters in Pirate 101?
Probably Jason Liebrecht.
It's got to be.
That's what I figured.
Do you know what?
Actually, it's probably Robert Kraft.
Oh.
He worked as an engineer for us for a while, and there were a lot of smaller characters that were awful that he just redid, and he could take the time to process it in such a way that you couldn't always tell it was him. Sometimes you still could, but that might have upset the balance of things. But it's probably close between. But as far as the spiral in general, like in totality, it's got to be Jason Liebrecht.
Jason's the master.
He's easily 10 or 15% of all the VO in both games.
Can you name a few of his most iconic characters, or some of his characters?
Diego. Tungok. Let's see.
Prospector Zeke.
Like pretty much every gauntlet, he's at least
been in there.
One of the mobs. I mean, every world he is 3 or 4 people, and he would be more if he wasn't so busy. But like, it's he basically like gets off of planes from being at some con somewhere, or flying to LA to record for Sony, and then hey, like, I can sneak in an hour, and then we anything else we can get out of him. Like I think it's been a couple years, but one time we got 2 hours out of him, and we basically did the entire world. He gets everything the first take, and oftentimes he will find a reference that we didn't even know we were making, and it will be some like obscure sci-fi movie from 1978, and Sam will go, that wasn't what I was thinking, but I like that better. Go with it. And then he just goes through, and then he's like, well, that only took 4.5 minutes. What else you got?
He is an amazingly consummate professional and also incredibly talented. I mean, some of the dialogue that we write is really out there, you know, with proper names and this and that and the other. And, you know, I've seen him hit a line and stumble on something maybe one time in 200. I mean, he even gets the inflection right. He gets the music exactly the way I was thinking of it. Yeah.
The Zeke quests are a perfect example because there will be music references in it, and sometimes he'll read it, he'll be halfway through, and he'll go, "Oh, I get the," and then he'll just start over and sing it in just the right way so that it's evocative of the song, but not the song. He's just a pro. He has like a talent that is, you know, you were given this by a higher power to cold read. Like, it's just something that some people have. There are fantastic actors that need to have their script for a month and they need to pour over it and everything. And he has the ability to read a line before he's finished reading the sentence. He knows the character. It's insane.
So that would be an example of a voice actor that you give all the freedom to, and he really adds all the character to it without, like, he gets your vision without you telling him what the character is.
He's 90% of the way there. Yeah, I've never seen the like. Yeah,
it's so hard because there's sometimes where, like, I really want you to be this character, but this character that this person is interacting with is something you're already doing, or it's a longer character, and I need to get that out of you. But if I could get you doing these 5 lines, it would be better than So it's a dance, just being able to get what limited time that we have out of him, and not overuse him, because I mean he could do the entire world.
No, that's awesome. That's really interesting. All right.
After every session with him, I always thank him for the master class. I genuinely mean it. Like, as somebody who wants to be a voice actor, I just sit and watch. Like, I have a hard time, like, directing even. I usually just kind of put myself on mute, and then after his 2 takes, I go, "That was great," because I never really have to give notes, and B, like, I don't feel confident, like, saying anything to this guy, because he's so good.
Yeah, definitely. The next question is kind of very similar to the one we just answered, which is who has the biggest range of unique voices in the KI crew in either game? So who has voiced the most characters?
My vote is Mike.
I know it's probably one of you two, right?
You'll be walking around the office, and you can hear Mike Sears from multiple cubicles away walking along going, "And if there was such a thing, oh, but never." What?
The Novus sessions were pretty fun.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I would say Mike is up there. Mike, who was it that did Lucius Fox?
Alexander Brandon. So
he would be my other one. Yeah.
As far as versatility goes, it's probably Brandon number 1. Chris Greismer, who does like Fitzhume, he was Mandar, is probably number 2, and Liebrick would be number 3, but Liebrick like jumps up into like a tie for number 1 just because of his insane ability to cold read and jump from character to character and stuff. But there are times like he can kind of tap out on a voice of like, you know, hey, your Texas accent and your Georgia accent I can still tell it's you. Whereas like Alexander Brandon, it's a completely different person.
He's
that guy.
Yeah. Before I knew his name, I was just like, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that guy is, of course, the Kane from Pirate101. The Kane.
The Manticore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Most
I
recent
did not
one.
know that. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Dog Tracy.
Oh, really?
Kid's got talent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
he's
And he's-
great. He-
So nice.
Oh, he's
so
awesome.
nice.
Yes.
I always gotta throw that out into the world. Alex Brandon is the nicest human being.
And so is Jason Lieberg.
Jason Lieberg is a very nice person. Like the like just insane talent. I would say for Alex Brandon is being like the kind of person you just want to like, you just want to cuddle him. You just want to put him in your pocket and take him with you. He's not a knock against anyone else. It's just that is his just.
That's how you feel. Yeah.
He's a
I
good
love
guy.
that guy so much. Like you leave every like interaction with him just feeling great about yourself.
Awesome.
While
All
also having in the back of your head, I am a terrible actor and I will never be as good as him.
No, you should be inspired
awesome, Mike.
to achieve his skill or or pass him.
And that's what he does. Like
Mhm.
I think he knows he's so much more talented than everyone else. He's like, everyone come to my level. Come with me.
Just catch up. But no, that's awesome though. All right. And then our next question.
Okay, the next question is, what is the first voice role that you can remember doing? And this can be with Kingsisle games or just in general.
I lost the beginning of the question.
Oh, what's the first voice role that you can remember doing? Just in general or with both of the MMOs?
Okay.
Mine's a story. So
Oh, well, okay. Well, mine's a little bit of a story too. In 2009,
Mhm.
when the game studio that I was working at suddenly died, and my infant son was 5 days old, I was freaking out looking for a job. And my buddy Todd Coleman said, I don't have anything for you. However, we are doing VO for this commercial for Wizard101. And so come in for a session and we'll pay you $250. And I was like, okay. And so I read for Malistaire
Mhm.
in the Wizard101 commercial, and they had not actually voiced Malistaire yet.
Mhm.
And I obviously didn't get it, but that was the first voice stuff I did.
Okay.
$250. I'm getting gypped.
If you're about to say that I was the voice of Malistaire in the Wizard101 commercial, I was about like, my mind was going to be blown.
Yeah.
Nope. It was not me. No, they picked the other guy,
Brian Jepson
the very one.
was also a very nice guy.
Yes.
Awesome. We'll do Hawk and Kaylee, and then we'll come back to you, Mike, because you said yours is a story, right?
It actually dovetails perfectly with Sam's story.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's basically the same story, sort of.
I mean, I was I've been doing the content creation game on and off for a minute. When I was 14, there was a group of Minecraft content creators that were asking for voice actors, and I can't remember the name of the role, but somewhere in the deep, dark depths of Minecraft content from 2013, there's my voice doing a big thug character for 3 lines. If you can find it, you have a scary good investigation ability.
Do you remember who the creator was?
No, I remember nothing.
Come on, internet.
All right, let's find it.
We believe in you. Find it.
I guess technically the first thing I did was a friend of mine back in like middle school needed a narrator for their osmosis school project. So somewhere out there, I am narrating some science video. So I guess technically that's my first one. And then my first real one would be Electro Stormcloud in Wizard101. But yeah, if you can find that, congratulations. I don't even know where that is.
All right, Mike, want to tell your story?
So I guess the first time I ever like did like voice acting, the community theater that I like grew up in my tiny little town, shout out Wharton, Texas. They did Steel Magnolias. I was probably a freshman in high school, and because there was no part for me, I did a recording of, I don't even remember what it was. It was somebody off stage, but they needed a southern person to like yell some things. It was like a train conductor or something. I have no idea what it was. I can't remember it all, but I had a little Tascam recorder because I was like teaching myself how to like, make music. And my mom, who was the director of the community theater, was like, "Hey, we just need someone to yell some things." And she handed me a script, and I was like, "Okay." And so I did an impersonation of my freshman baseball coach, saying like, "Gal's got to get up on the train. Train's leaving. It's 2:30. Get on, studs." I don't even know what it did. I just was riffing into this little tape. And then when I showed up to watch the play, I heard myself over the speakers and I was like, that was so cool. I want to do this. And then fast forward many years later, after getting into the advertising world, I got into advertising because I wanted to make like jingles and do voiceover work. Was not having a good time with that. And my neighbor, Mr. J. Todd Coleman, was like, "Hey, you do some silly voices. Why don't you come read?" And I came in and read for stuff for Grizzleheim. And then a few months passed and my company died and I was out of work and I had not gotten the $150 that I was promised. So I came to Todd and I was like, "So I've lost my job and I have this house that as a 26-year-old I really can't afford. I need that $150." And he kept putting me in touch with the audio lead, who kept being very nice, saying like, "Oh, I don't know, I must have lost your contract." And I think he was being too nice to say that your voice was terrible and I didn't use it, therefore I'm not going to pay you. And then Todd's wife felt so bad about that she made him give me an internship, and they haven't fired me yet.
They went, "We can't find your money, so here's a job."
I love that.
I did some Grizzleheim work too, I think on that same session. And the really funny part, when we did pets in Pirate, and we had, all the pet dudes from the different places, we did Grizzleheim, and, we decided that we were going to do the Vikings the way the Vikings actually talked. And one of our production guys was like, "People from Grizzleheim don't sound like that. They sound like this." And he sent me an MP3 of one of the Grizzleheim lines, and it was me.
Really?
Yeah, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
It was like, oh, he had no idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But those are really interesting stories. So when you got the contracts for working at KI, do you guys think that it would be like a long-term thing? Because it seems like a sudden like job that you kind of got.
I needed to pay my cable bill. That's all I could think about.
For me, I've always known Todd, and I shipped his first MMO project, and I've known him since Ronald Reagan was president. And a year later, after I moved out of Texas to go to the job that I landed, I came home for my 40th birthday celebration, and he said, "I got something for you now." And I was like, "Really?" And so, yeah, he hired me to write Pirate, and I never intended to go anywhere, and I still don't. I will happily work at KI till I retire.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Those are really, really interesting stories. Yeah.
All right, so you want to go to the next question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so this one is a bit long, but I will try my best to like make sure you guys understand what I'm asking. As we know, Grandmother Raven retired as our narrator at the end of Imperia Part 2. Since then, our companions in each world have acted more like narrators in some ways, providing context to our adventures that otherwise would have just been given to us by Raven. This style of dialogue is pretty similar to how our companions interact with us in Pirate 101. Was this a conscious choice, or something that just sort of happened as a result of working with Pirate?
It was two conscious choices.
Yeah. We decided to move away from the narrator once Raven started becoming a significant part of the plot, because how are you going to tell, if she's, I mean, you could read the thing, but, if you were just listening to it, you wouldn't, is this Grandmother Raven telling me to do this or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think we just knew, that, that we weren't going to have her forever. And in addition to all of that, Pirate proved to us that that sort of thing could work. And so we began to lean in that direction. And some of the things that make it work best, like when you have one character who's with you a long time, that helps a lot in the story in other ways too. So I think on the whole, it was a very good decision.
I can,
I agree.
give some history if you want. Like, look at Chrysalis Part 1 versus Chrysalis Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I started off as a designer on Pirate, and then moved over, and right as the dev cycle for Chrysalis Part 1 was going on, and I very much was like used to Sam's way of writing Pirate, where you find ways to have other characters give you the exposition.
Mm-hmm.
And also that whole, it was 3 dialogue panes, 4 on a bestowal if you have to. It was a rule. And like in Chrysalis Part 1, especially for the side quests that I wrote, I definitely stuck to that. But by Part 2, I just couldn't not make it more like Pirate. And then we had a writer change in there, and you can kind of see how we went more toward the Pirate style there. And then we also had a recording session with Miss Aldrich, and it was very clear that it was difficult. It was getting difficult for her. She was a trooper, but she had some serious health problems. And there were times where we're like, so we need her to be Raven. Can we cut out these 10 extra lines? Because some of those narrator lines,
Mm-hmm.
they were a little nebulous. So it wasn't always, you walk into the room and you find the wand. Sometimes there were 5 different versions of that, because we weren't quite sure how the design was going to work yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that what was really only 5 narrator lines was actually more like 25 that she had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of all the other things, it was like, we are depleting this poor woman's energy, life force.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little bit of a kindness to her. And then we also kind of realized that the way that we were metering out our story was changing. And then Mallory happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically were like, Mallory is a companion. And that's when we got like tech to have, we actually got the tech in Chrysalis to have the follower NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't quite use it. Like Divum was kind of like our first foray into having a character, and he went over so well. He's still like, I mean, is he not probably the most beloved character in all of Wizard?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the storytelling, it wasn't really until Mallory that we were like, this is a companion NPC that is going to be able to be here and give us dialogue. And now it's the bedrock of how we write quests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Dell was an amazing voice actor, so that's why, you know, she cemented a lot of our childhoods. You know, I grew up with the game, and a lot of other people did too. So it was like I know there's also a YouTube video that you guys interviewed her, and like it's the cutest thing ever on the KI YouTube channel. I recommend anyone that hasn't watched it to go watch it. It's really good and amazing. And but yeah, she cemented like Wiz in general, and like when you think of Wiz, you can't think of it without her. So I feel the transition that you guys did from like the end of Imperia Part 2 and the way that you handled like the narration system, like transitioning from like a full-on narration to what everything that's happening to like a whole, like, you know, like, oh, this is like I'm with my friends and they're telling me stuff that I didn't notice, is like, it was really well done. So
yeah, we couldn't get a new narrator, so we had to figure out a new way to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And also a huge shout out to everyone that participated in the Grandmother Raven plushie campaign. Everyone that bought one, half, correct me if I'm wrong, half the profits from that went to the Zach Theater, which fantastic theater, helping young people find their silliness and their acting. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing of you guys.
Elle was such an awesome person.
Yeah.
From the community knows of her, because, you know, she didn't show up that often, like, you know, 101 kind of, but yeah, she seemed like, you know, an amazing person. And even like in that interview, I know I'm talking like about, you know, but even in that interview when she was talking about like that one story with her kids and her friends would played Wizard101 too, so they were at his birthday party, and then they were all like, oh my god, your grandmother's Grandmother Raven, and they kept asking her questions about that. I remember like her talking about that in the video, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, you know. And yeah, it's legit our childhood, which is amazing. Yeah, awesome. All right, let's move to the next question. All right. Was this mine or yours, Chris?
I can take it if you want.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this one is from Master Juan Song. Are there voice actors no longer available that prevent the content from reaching its full potential? With all the PvP changes, I thought we would have heard newly recorded dialogue from Diego by now. Also, the noticeable halt to the Arcanum Scholar's spell and pet quests.
I wouldn't say that we're not gonna not do spell quests again.
And or pet quests again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, some of that comes down to the sheer difficulty of getting that many actors, you know, making sure that every professor's, you know, every scholar's schedule is open so that we can get all of them. And yeah, in terms of other quests, you know, that's a little difficult. We've had many actors move to California or move to Mississippi. Or is that it, or was it Alabama? I don't
Mississippi.
know.
No, he's from Mississippi. And I think he moved back to Mississippi.
Okay. And of course, the voice of Ratbeard is no longer with us. And this has been actually something in the new pirate content that we've been putting together. We've been mulling over the idea of, well, how much of the companion's going to talk. They know about Sinbad Part 1. That we had this discussion then. You know, are the companions going to talk? And if so, are they all going to talk? Because, you know, one of the beautiful things about Pirate is how many characters we had. But what I did not realize at the time is how actually expensive that is. You know, if I've got one line in a quest that's said by 5 different people, whether they be the Presidio 5 or the starting 5. It's kind of rough. So we may look at how we did that. But in some cases, Sarah Steele moved to California. And Ratbeard, we can't get him now. So we're going to have to...
El Toro lived in Germany for a while.
Yes, he did.
He's back, baby.
But he's back. So, if ever serious pirate content starts again, there will be discussion from our end about, this is what we're planning to do with companions and companion speech. So finding a balance between being able to do what we need to do and being able to do what we can do is going to define a lot of stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that our interviews for any position in the company are going to start having Mike Sears come and be like, "Hey, so give me 5 voices. You got 5 voices?
Can you do an Australian accent?
How's your Peruvian?"
It's more Bolivia, but we can work with it.
Yeah.
All right. Our next question is from Mrs. Kawai. It goes, please, please, please ask about Bishop, who voiced him, and will they be back? The voice work absolutely cemented him as my favorite character. So excited for this.
Well, it was voiced by John Merriman. If whether or not Bishop makes a return is up to Sam.
But yeah, he's really good. And the actor, I can presume will return, but I can neither confirm nor deny that there are any plans for Bishop to return.
Okay.
Would you say that would be telling?
It would indeed, yes. I'm trying to come up with a new code phrase here. No, I'm just kidding. That would be telling.
Okay. So we'll see more of the voice actor, and the rest is up to our interpretation. Maybe.
No, I loved writing him too.
Okay.
All the Cabal masters, I loved writing them. They were great.
Awesome. All right. Our next question.
This is from Blaze Stormcloud. Who voiced Librarian Fitzhume?
Mr. Chris Greismer.
Yep.
All right. And then our next question, which we're back to Bellflower CP, and she's asking who voiced Catbeard.
That was a pretty awesome story. Sam, were you here when he got cast? Were you at Kingsisle?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe you can tell the story better. There's a kid named Zach Daly.
Interesting.
I forget how he got in touch with us or how we got in touch with him.
As I remember it, which is not a reliable source, was that Todd saw him doing children's theater.
Yes.
And was like, that's the voice for Catbeard.
Yep.
And like hired him. And then that kid used that as a launching pad to fame and fortune. Because we all know the name Zach Daly.
He that was it. I had forgotten. He was in college at the time, and so every time we needed to use him, it was kind of up in the air. Did he graduate? Is he living in a different state? Is he on vacation? But we got very lucky with him, and we loved his voice.
Yeah,
and I might be remembering this wrong too, but I swear he was one of the first actors where we were like, well, can't do this storyline because like I think he went to college in LA or he would finish school and moved out there, something like that. Like he was one of the first ones where it was like, well, we have to pivot because we can't get Zach.
Yeah.
And we can't recast him. because he'd already recorded way too much and his voice is just too good.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's honestly an interesting story. Yeah. Like the chances of, you know, picking him up, if you're recalling correctly, which you said probably.
Let's go with it.
Let's go with it. It's a fun story.
Who's gonna fact check me?
Yeah.
No, that
he
I
had
once
just landed his B-52 straight from Germany after
Into KI
a
headquarters.
successful bombing run. He had just murdered Hitler. Go straight into the booth.
Wow. We're not going to get sued for this at all. Actually, no, Mike's trying to do. It's a classic. He's trying to draw out Zach by saying these ridiculous things.
Zach, if you were out there, give me a call. We've got plans and ideas. We'd love to get you back in.
it's the age of COVID. Remote sessions are a thing now. Ooh. Yep.
Awesome. All right, and then our next question.
Next question is there any kind of character you haven't had the chance to voice, whether it be a character with a certain personality or accent, that you would like to in the future?
A villain.
A villain.
I'd love to do a villain.
Dude, all I voice is villains.
Love villains.
Do you have a specific villain type that you're thinking of?
I usually get typecasted as Peter Pan for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So the direct opposite of that would be fun to try and play.
A Captain Hook.
Oh, and the Joker archetype is also pretty fun. Absolutely unhinged and ready for anything. Something like that.
Someone in chat saying Hawk playing a lawful evil villain would be fantastic.
Oh, that's Tim Gunn with different morals. You have
How's your
not
Australian?
raised. You've not
Yeah,
raised the
how
bar.
is your
You should
Australian?
die.
How's your Australian? Work on it. Workshop it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Heard.
work on it. I don't really have an answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've played all over the place, and it's also not something that I've ever really given much thought to what I haven't played.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I don't know.
Okay.
Fair.
What about you, Mike? Anything specific in mind, or?
I find it weird that I was here for most of the, if not all of the recording for Cool Ranch,
Mhm.
and I got to do like 0 like Texas accents. Like at no point did I ever get to use my actual like
Voice.
accent that was my accent for the first 20 years of my life. I think later I worked some stuff in, and then got to do Captain Fowl, which
Mhm.
was a little bit close. It was at least Southern, but like I was early enough in my tenure here that I couldn't really ask for parts.
Mhm.
But every time I would see TJ in the hall, I would do the howdy.
Trying to like slide it like.
Have a good Joe, woo. Legs sure are sore from all that cattle rustling I was doing this weekend. Shit. But yeah, I didn't get that which would be in my wheelhouse. I've also never got to do Irish. Irish is my favorite accent, and I don't know that I've ever gotten it in the game. There might be some like one-offs in Pirate somewhere, but
Tell us what you did this past weekend in an Irish accent.
this past weekend I cleaned up a lot of cat faces from. Oh, I was telling the story off camera earlier. Oh, my poor cat. His name is Hopper. He jumped up on my keyboard. He gambled and I lost.
What was Hopper? How bad did that gamble turn out for the cat?
Oh yes.
These are red switch keyboards. I won't be having you messing them up.
It's hard to improv Irish and keep it clean.
Yes, yes, it is.
More of a Catholic Irish, I suppose.
What about you, Kaylee? Are there any specific characters that you've seen in Wiz or in anywhere, and you think like, "Ah, I wish I played that"?
A moose.
A moose?
My favorite animal is a moose, so if I could voice a moose, I don't know what it would sound like, but that would be cool. Also,
A
anything
moose
in
or-
Pirate, just because I haven't done any work in Pirate.
And this
Okay.
is Kaylee cold reading for Moose.
So a moose or a moosatar, because that's a difference.
Ooh, that could be interesting. I think that would be fun. Moosatar.
Because the moosatar are Canadian.
Okay.
Mhm.
I haven't tried that accent. I'll have to workshop that as well.
So what accent would be a moose versus like a moosatar is Canadian? What would you give a moose accent?
The only actual moose we've had was the chocolate moose. It's all that's coming to mind from Caramel. So.
Do you remember the sound effects?
You know, I think it just went like, but in a German accent.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Can we have
What
a
else?
moose
Like,
ice scholar?
Yeah, but he's Canadian. Terry
Yeah.
Hadfield,
Okay.
Alex Brandon,
Mhm.
really?
Alex Brandon. He's also why he got the Manticore, because
That's awesome.
he does a Canadian accent that's not over the top. You know, he didn't come after us saying like, "Oh, look at here, I got the hockey puck, and we're gonna go on down to the Timmy Hortons." It was just it was very subtle, and it was perfect because that's
Mhm.
all he can do is perfect.
Sean
Next
is
question.
asking an interesting
sorry.
question in chat. I'll answer it really quick.
Mhm.
Group recordings for voice acting is incredibly rare. If you'd like to see the results of that, Bob's Burgers does group recordings. It's incredibly rare, but when it is done, you can get some great improv.
Because you'd be reacting to each other, so it has
Yeah.
more emotion kind of, and
Mhm.
it's more like an.
But
actual
also the
conversation.
cost of having a 3-person setup versus a 1-person setup is like, you know, does the improv that important?
And I mean, also probably time, like finding these actors that can come in and you know, do this at the same time is probably also really hard.
Editing improv is a lot of time.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
We've
Yep.
messed around with it, and we get about like after the 30 extra minutes it takes to set up the room, so that your mics aren't fighting each other and you're not hearing weird background noises, and then you start going and you're like, oh, this is why we don't do that.
Mhm.
We did some good background Foley stuff for Lemuria in a group session. It was pretty fun.
Sky City, right?
So a question off that. So when you voice like background noises like in Mirage, the market and stuff like that, how do you do that?
We wrote a whole bunch of just random, we called them whispers and sweet nothings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is just, we said, what's the little awful dude from Star Wars? Who's probably horribly racist, so I won't do the voice.
Oh, Watto.
Yeah, we were like, start there and just riff. And
Mhm.
so if you spend enough time, you hear me saying like, "You can't beat my prices" far too often.
Mm-hmm.
But we tried to have a big old bucket of just random things. Hello, my friend. Do you want to look at the carpet?
Mm-hmm. Is it just you,
And
and then you voice like you just try to change your voice slightly with different merchants and stuff, or?
And then we ask. A lot of times, it's like the thing we do at the end of a session where we whispers and murmurs, and we'll just have somebody say like, "Hey, we need like 5 people saying this exact same thing."
Mm-hmm.
And then we can mix it in, use one and over the other. We've blended them before, which was cool. In I know in Imperia there's some cool blending, but that was because we had more audio engineers who had the time to do fun stuff like that like 2 people maybe have noticed. But it made me really happy.
Awesome. All right, and then our next question.
I will take that one. This
All
one is
right.
from Conjure Shadow, and he asks, "Are we sure Mike Sears isn't a shapeshifter?"
He'd be the last person to give us an honest answer.
That's true. That's true. And I don't hear anyone else objecting.
If I could change this shape easily, I would. I will say that.
To quote Brennan Lee Mulligan, if I could change this soft, doughy body and keep it from needing constant almonds, I would.
Yes, I would love to change my almond shape.
Let me put it this way: I've never seen him be a shapeshifter, but that doesn't mean I've never not seen him be a shapeshifter.
Ooh. Oh.
Also, Mike, you're beautiful. Shut up.
All right, and then I think this is our last question. No, we have one more after this. What would be? Oh no, I think maybe it's the last. We'll see.
This is the last one. Yeah.
Okay. What would be some advice you would give to anyone who's interested in getting into voice acting? And I'd like to hear from like Kaylee and Hawk, since they're, starting out and like have tried it, how it is to like get into it, and like what advice would you give to that?
Well, the trick that I used was talk to yourself and entertain yourself insanely for about your entire life, and then be physically feet from the spot where people are doing recording for voice acting. And when one of the directors walk by, you are incidentally talking insanely to yourself, and they go, "I needed cheap labor," and then they'll pick you up. Super easy.
The best thing about the KI players is we don't have to pay them.
They're already being paid.
Sometimes.
Awesome. What about you, Kaylee? What would you give as some advice for someone trying to get into it or start out?
See, I think I just got lucky that I got hired at a company that was open to me doing this. So I don't really have a lot of firsthand experience, but I would say my gut would be, if I was trying to do this professionally and just that's all I did, I would do a ton of research. I would watch a lot of videos from very famous voice actors or people who I get inspired by, and see if they have any tips. I know a lot of voice actors have like interviews that they've done on YouTube and things like that. Those are always good resources. If you're trying to do a specific accent, there are videos about that I have tried to use to much failing. But there are resources out there, and I think the biggest step to learning anything, not just voice acting, is just be knowledgeable about it. Read things, talk to people, find mentors, and just get involved, because you never know when someone that you know will have an opportunity one day.
If I could give some advice as well. I've been surrounded by creative people and also do creative work, so this applies to a lot of industries, not just voice acting. There are two parts of the equation. Your portfolio, number one. In any creative role I've ever seen somebody hiring for, they don't care what degree you have to a certain extent. They just want to know you can do the job, because that's what they're trying to do, is to get someone to do the job. So they want to know that you can do the job. If you are going into any sort of creative industry, or any industry, your portfolio is number one. And then number two is opportunity. And you can create opportunities for yourselves by searching them out. And there are an enormous number of Twitter accounts that will use like hashtag voice acting or something of that tune. They'll say, "Oh, we're doing an open casting call." And there's not many opportunities where you're just sitting there talking to yourself insanely and someone who needs a voice actor will pick you up. That's just not going to happen. You have to go out there and have that juicy, excellent portfolio. And that's that.
Awesome. What about from you guys, Sam and Mike?
You want to go, or you want me to go? I'll go.
Go for it.
I'm going to open mine with something that is an oblique movie reference that was inspired by what Hercules just said. I know he can get the job, but can he do the job? And anyone who knows what that is, I will shake your hand. No, what I would do, honestly, just from the standpoint of the stuff that we've seen, I don't know how you practice for this, but get really good at cold reading. Pick up the stuff, and be able to give it a decent stab as fast as you can. If they hand you a script outside, you get to look at it in advance. That's great, but try not to waste time figuring out what the words are and in what order they go. The other thing I would say, again, just from my experience meeting people, accent work is the best thing you can do. And admittedly, we're weird in that, we have lots of outrageous accents, but the more you can just do that at the drop of a hat, I think the better you're going to do. And finally, I think, and honestly don't know how you do this, but as my theater teachers used to say, there's music in the speech, and how you can modulate pitch and tempo and all of that stuff. The more of that you are able to do, I think the better you're going to sound to the people who are recording you. And yeah, I don't know if any of that advice is practical, but I think it would help anyone who's in a session with me.
Okay.
Cool.
There's so much luck, and it's luck and also hustle. And I say this as somebody who does not hustle enough, but I am putting myself in the situation. I do a lot of game designer work that I am not good at all, so I can be in a position to do voice acting stuff, because that's what I really, 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 really enjoy doing. And I just try to not screw up too badly on all the other stuff. But then when it comes to the actual acting, there's some things that really just kind of come down to what you're born with, and it's about finding out. We've got a great actress who swears she can't do voices. Like she's like, oh no, I can't do that accent, and then we'll just go, well, could you try? And then she does it, and it's perfect. And because she, in her mind, like, she is also Miss Elizabeth Maxwell out there. Like, I'm sure most of these people who are into voice actors know that she is all over the place. She's a wonderful actress, and if you ask her, she probably will say she's comfortable doing like 2 or 3 different kinds of voices. But then she comes for us, and we just kind of beg her, and she'll do all kinds of accents, and they're always so perfect. And she always like wants to see the sides in advance. Like, tell me about the character. And sometimes I've just started emailing her like a week or 2 before, so that she can get it mentally, because she doesn't need it. Like, she just needs to have that confidence that, okay, I'm going to come in and do a Jamaican accent. Because if you ask her in the moment, she's going to tell you no. Whereas somebody like Jason Lieberg is like, yeah, sure, I'm going to do it. But that's his talent. That's what he does. And so I would guess that Elizabeth has worked really hard on the things that she knows she's good at. And like, there are a lot of very famous one-note actors because that's what they're good at. Like, they can like Matthew McConaughey can probably do other accents, but he doesn't need to, because Matthew McConaughey voice works.
And frankly, we don't want him to. Exactly.
And like, that's not his bag, like Billy West can probably do a better Matthew McConaughey than Matthew McConaughey can, but we don't need that out of him. We need the Red M&M and Philip J. Fry, Professor Farnsworth. I guess it's know what you can do and don't sweat what you're not good at necessarily, and be willing to try. Even if you think you're not good at it, like, don't get stuck in your own head of saying like, well, no, I can't do accents. And that kind of speaks to like what Sam was saying about being good at reading is a really important first step. Because all the other things like mic discipline and like nailing accents, being able to stay in an accent will come with practice. But having the confidence to know I'm looking at a line and I'm reading it, I'm processing it. Like that's the first step, because you can psych yourself out and get way out of, just inside your own head if you don't come with that confidence of I'm going to read this line and then everything else is going to come after that.
And about psyching yourself out, like any creative endeavor, whether it's movies, whether it's games, whether it's writing books, whether it's drawing and painting, do not let the rejection of this one thing or the fact that you didn't do this one voice, don't let that get you down. Keep going, and you will find a place that will dig you. Keep going, keep learning. There you go.
So putting yourself out of your comfort zone and doing stuff that you're not comfortable with, but you feel like you want to do, or you feel like people are guiding you in that way and experiencing new things, pretty much. That's really good advice.
I bring it around. Like I had that one session that was awful, and I was like, maybe I'm terrible and I should never do this again. And then PJ, the audio lead, was like, no, I need you to come back in and do Gandry. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then he was like, he brought my confidence back up and was like, don't listen to Miguel. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then he fired him like a week later for gross negligence and incompetence and other things. Miguel! But it's not letting the rejection get inside your head. Stay there.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. That is all our questions. I know we've been here for a while, but are you still free? Do you want to do some of the prompts that we were talking about? Or do you have other stuff to do?
I have other stuff to do.
Okay.
I gotta talk to a producer before the day ends.
Awesome. I apologize. The questions went on for longer, so.
Well, the answers went on long too, so it's all good. We love to talk. We do.
Yeah, definitely. No, we love to listen.
Yeah, Mike, you stay and do the stuff. Well, I had a great time. Hope to talk to y'all again.
Definitely. Thanks for being here, Sam.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Whew, now that he's gone.
All right, so we're going up to my backup thing. That should kind of work.
Okay, that works.
Wait, before nobody leave, we're still not done with the stream. We're just done, almost done with the voice acting part. And then we're also going to do a Community Spiral Cup recap. So we're probably going to go on for a little bit longer. Right now, if our beautiful KI voice actors are still down, they're more than welcome. We'll gather some prompts and we'll watch them do magic.
Dope.
So just giving y'all some ASMR right now.
Let's go. Oh, cat ASMR. Love it.
Perfect.
But who voiced Millispeeder?
The Millispeeder. Wait, that was from is that just from the tower?
From the raids, right? Yeah.
The raids? Millispeeder. Which voice is that? I can't.
I haven't done raids in a while. I didn't even know Millispeeder spoke. Honestly.
Usually when we I didn't know. Did they mean like
he has one line?
What's
the line?
Probably like the same noise that all the other Millispeeder
making. If it's the Joe Swanson.
Your magic is useless here.
Oh, your magic is useless here. Oh, Wizard, you stink.
Awesome.
My activation phrase for that actor is Cusco's poison. Poison for Cusco. Poison specifically chosen killing for Cusco. Freaking love that guy.
All right. Do you guys have any characters you want to prompt yourself with and interact with each other? Or we could try to get anyone in chat to suggest anything, but nobody is suggesting. Voice your favorite character. You can finally do your Irish accent.
I already did it.
Well, do it in a conversation.
It's no fun now.
It's no fun. I can't do
What's the
accents.
difference between a squat and Irish?
Ifan, you have to ask, boyo. I don't know that I'm going to be able to tell you in this setting.
Oh, can I
It's
do
also,
a
you know,
Hercules voice?
The Irish Sea.
How good is your Hercules voice?
Haha! Son of Zeus!
Pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Here. It helps.
I'm gonna-
It helps if I flex
gonna-
while I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hercules, the son of Zeus, is here to save you.
Nailed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Sound like any.
There's a very
you could-
non-zero amount of my motivation for exercising and weightlifting that comes from wanting to look more like Hercules.
Just trying to catch up with him. You don't
Yep.
need to like show in-game pictures. We'll just show you.
Yeah. Can I say, haha, I love Gume in the Hercules voice? I mean, your team did win the CSC, so. The son of Zeus loves Gume. All right, that'll be $50. It'll be billable to my email.
Wait, Mike, can you do El Toro's voice?
El Toro. So I don't even want to do that because that is the incomparable James Leary.
Mm-hmm.
And we also don't have the right audio clip for El Toro talking. Actually, we have a perfect clip.
Can we hear
Kendra
again?
Quinn wants to hear Gandry.
Mm-hmm.
So do me a favor. Do the Hercules voice. Just
Hercules,
say-
son of Zeus.
now instead of son of Zeus, say like, ah, there you are, little monkey.
Ah, there you are, little monkey.
Isn't it amazing how some might say that Hercules sounds strangely like Butch Beard? I would not say that. Some
Gandry,
people
what
don't.
are you doing?
I love that.
Pirate, here we are.
There it
Sailing
is.
the seven seas.
There it is. There's the raspiness, but also the verboseness. I don't know how to describe that.
There's a lot going on.
There's
That
a
is
lot happening.
amazing.
The difference between that voice and your actual voice is just funny. Cause like when I'm looking at you do it, right? And it just doesn't look like it's coming from you.
Amazing.
What about you, Kaylee? You want to show us some of the voices you've done? Especially the newer ones that we might have missed?
Oh man, I feel like most of them my mic is not going to pick up. Like if I tried to do Pesca, there's no way that
Mhm.
you would hear anything. You would hear my mouth moving, but nothing coming out. And then I tried
Well,
my
give her a
Jersey
shot
accent
sometime.
earlier, but that apparently also didn't work. Like if I tried, I'm trying to think of another Jersey line I've done. I forget what the cow said in Lemuria. I can probably look it up.
Yeah, no, voice acting is definitely not where I'm good at.
Can I get your best Southern Yeehaw Texas good old boy there?
I can try, but okay, give me a
Please.
sentence.
The beer's in the back of the pickup truck.
The beer's in the back of the pickup truck.
Oh wow.
English isn't my first language, by the way. So yeah.
I don't know what that was, but that was fantastic.
What is your first language?
I speak Arabic.
Arabic. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to make sure I don't.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Which is
I always
funny.
like to know these things because I as somebody who's always doing weird voices,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm always accidentally offending people.
No. But yeah, I can't even do like my accent is just so lost. Even like my normal one, it doesn't even sound like Arab, Middle Eastern at all. But it also
Demon,
doesn't
you've
sound.
probably got some accents that we've never heard before. Like, can you do a Libyan accent?
I don't know.
Do you need to be speaking Arabic to get into the right tonality for all
Maybe.
that?
I mean, I can speak Arabic if you want me to.
Yeah, all I've got is Habibis, and that's
What do you want to hear? Give me a sentence and I'll go.
throw the
Fa-
monkey in the jail.
ارمي القرد في السجن.
My
It's poetic.
my best friend in college, his family's from Iran. Grew up in Canada
Mm-hmm.
and then moved to Texas when he was like 15 or 10 or somewhere in there. And our favorite thing to do, because we were dorks, was to go like clubbing in Austin and just pretend to be other people. And so he would speak Farsi to me, and I would pretend to be a French interpreter, and because he could also speak perfect French.
Yeah.
And so he would like just yell something like the most horrendous thing about like the person that we were talking to. Usually like we would go up to like the drunkest girl in the bar, and he would just go up to her and be like, I hate you, you have the stupidest hair I've ever seen. But in Farsi it sounds amazing. And then he would look at me and then say it in French, which also sounds amazing. And then I would go, he is wondering if he could sit next to you. Worked like a charm.
God.
And then I would leave and like sit there by myself.
I would be so confused.
That's so funny though.
He's a stand-up comedian, so he knows how to run with the bits. And then he would just sit there and like sometimes speak broken English, but for the most part just sit there and speak Farsi at some poor unsuspecting sorority girl who had no idea what was happening. And then we would move on before we got beat up, which he didn't always quite get to that point. But
Some of us are out there developing Riz, and Mike Sears is just out there committing
character
to the
work.
bit.
Doing character work.
Just practicing his pirate voices.
There were twice where we were doing our bit, and then I look over and it never failed. There was always like an Australian rugby team in town, and now you'd always see some dude up at the bar saying, "Oh, look at me, honey. So we just got finished with our rugby match. I would love to pound a Foster's." And then like Ramin would come in and just start speaking Farsi at them, and it's gorgeous.
Just absolutely
And
confused.
the rest of those stories are not safe for this stream. But it was a
Okay.
fun time. So bringing it back around to that earlier question, character work. Find time to do character work.
Awesome. Thank you. I think we will move on to the Community Spiral Cup part of the stream. But thank you so much for being here. I had a
Thank you.
blast. It was really fun, and it was awesome meeting you guys.
Same. Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
for
Mike
having
and
us.
Kaylee.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for
Thank you so
for
much.
inflating
You're
our
welcome.
egos like this. It's amazing.
Awesome.
I love the Twitter feed. I love seeing all this stuff. I love being able to like tell you guys that like Alexander Brandon is an amazing person on top of his amazing voice work. Like if I do nothing but get that kind of information out there, please by all means ask.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Can like I know a lot of the devs are on Twitter. I don't know if you are on Twitter or not. Like, can we at you and stuff like that? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what my handle is. It's probably like at Michael Sears.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll tell Hawk.
Okay. We'll find you.
Yeah.
Just like we'll find Hawk's Minecraft video.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
get on it, internet.
And Kaylee's
You
class
need
project.
Kelly's
Nardwuar
class
level
project.
investigation for that.
Thanks, y'all.
I would love for that to be resurfaced. Please, I want to watch that.
God.
Awesome. All right. Bye.
All right. Have a
Bye,
good
Mike.
one.
Bye, Kaylee.
Yeah.
You too. All right. So we
Okay.
will switch to the 3-person stream. Chris, can you unshare your screen kind of thing?
Yes.
And let's see. Okay. I just need Hawk instead of me in this one. Hawk, we're just not going to show you. It will just be me.
It's all right. People don't need to see my face.
No? All right. I'm going to fix this real quick on stream.
So,
Oop, there we go.
oh, wait, the stream is still going. We're just going in on part 2.
We're just going into part 2, which is the Community Spiral Cup. Very professionally. I was definitely very prepared for this mistake. There we go. Done. Fixed. All right.
I've had to correct that exact mistake many times on my stream.
Yes. All right. So we are going to be talking about the Community Spiral Cup, the CSC. For those of you who do not know, last year, do you remember what month, Hawk?
It was over
August?
multiple months. You'll have to be more specific.
When did it start?
August, I think, right?
It ended in November. I believe it started in September.
So for 2 months, ending in November, we were doing a Community Spiral Cup. It was a challenge between a lot of different communities in the Wizard101 and Pirate101 space. We were competing against 4 major challenges, which was speedrunning, house decorating, collecting, and I am going brain dead on that last one. Someone else?
PvP.
PvP. Yes. And then the winners of each challenge, the first 4 places would get points. Of course, the first place would get the highest points. The 4th place would get the lowest points. And you would place on the leaderboard by the end of the 2 months, right?
Mhm.
By the end of the 2 months, the person with the highest points wins. The rewards were... Do you want to say that, Hawk?
Yeah, the rewards were the winning community had is getting a mount added to the game based on their request. Is that how I would
inspired by their community based on their request?
Yeah, inspired by the community based on the request. And would y'all like to see a teaser of?
Do we want to show it? I was going to show it at the end. Do you want to show it right now?
I mean, we could show it right now. We got all these wonderful people here in the chat.
All right, all right.
We should show off yours first, DemonAxe.
Yes, I will skip through all the slides that I had though, real quick. So pretend like you didn't watch them when we look at them again. Wait, actually, I'm a professional streamer and I can move them to the top of the list. Easy. Okay.
You can also just click and drag the file to.
So on the screen right now is my mount, because I won the Pirate101 Community Spiral Cup, which is a beautiful mount. I love it. It's amazing.
By the way, your team came in first place largely in part because of your unprecedented commitment to the bit as far as the extra points for memes and art, especially memes.
I tried my best.
Yeah, that mount is already technically in the game, so some of you may have seen it from leakers, but this is the first official showcasing, and purple's my favorite color, and that gradient's crazy.
I know, I love it so much. Like, it is amazing. You all have to buy it. It's like mandatory. Whoever does not buy it is not allowed to play pirate anymore. I'm just saying. You're not a real pirate. I want to see everyone ride this mount. Just saying. And then we also have, and it's not complete. It is in the works.
Not complete yet because the devs are adding a really cool black flame to this one, so it's taking more time.
Can I ask you something real quick though before we move on? Can we try to add Hawk? I mean, can we try to add Gume to the call and get his reaction? Because like nobody has seen this mount, right?
I think we should get Gume in the call.
I think so too.
Let me go.
Send
give
him
a little.
It's gonna mess up. Okay, wait. I can probably fix this. Maybe.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Is that the Gume?
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Wait, I'll get our. You're more than welcome to turn on your face cam or not.
It's not set up.
It's not set up? Okay, then I'll just wait. Oh, this is messed up. Let's see.
Also, hi, Goom.
I am very much breaking everything right now. For some reason, this is not working the way I thought it would. But it's okay.
We're fine.
We're fine.
Everything's okay.
This is
Nothing
exactly how I had it planned when I was setting it up.
This is going to be a work in progress photo. So if you're not familiar with game engines and back-end development, you're going to see a whole lot of weird colors and shapes. Those aren't going to be on the mount. If you are familiar with game development, then you will recognize all the weirdness that's happening, and it'll be neat.
Drum roll.
We just need 2 seconds. I am very
also
sorry.
imagine that there are cool black flames around the work in progress picture you're about to see. Again, it's a work in progress. It's not the finished thing.
Okay, are you guys ready? The next picture, which I will move up right now, is going to be the first view of the Gume mount. Are you ready?
Show us.
I'm ready.
Show us.
All right.
Show us.
So it is on stream right now.
Ta-da!
So it is not done.
Let's go.
It is not done at all. But from what we've seen, I think it looks amazing.
I love it. I can't wait to see it with the black flames. I feel like that's
It's
gonna be
gonna be
like
dope.
the finishing touch,
Oh yeah.
like the piece of resistance to the mat, and it's gonna be great. I love it so much.
Nah,
That's gonna be a beautiful piece of resistance right there.
yes. So this mount is going to be added to Wizard101. And you guys can
Yes,
get
indeed.
it once it's released. Hopefully in the near future.
Yes, indeed. And there will also be a CSC 23, 22, because it happened in 2022.
Mhm.
Gonna get a trophy variant that will be free for everybody
Ooh,
that participated.
let's go. And is it going to look good? We have not seen that at all. At
The
least
mounts,
us.
I am 95% sure this is the case because that's what we've talked
Mhm.
about in the back end, but don't clip it. The mounts should cost exactly as much as their base reference point.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there you go. I hope you like the final product, Gume. So far, it's looking pretty
I
neat.
love it so much. It's like I can't even like. I'm trying to contain my excitement for it. I think it looks so good. It's better than like the art that I thought up, or I think it was some of my
The
community.
zebra striped kind of one.
Yeah. It
Uh-huh.
looks so much better.
I really like the
originally it was
design on it. Yeah.
It was originally like white, and this is a lot more. I love the colors that are here so much more.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It's like pearl.
Yeah.
It's so
Pearl
nice.
white.
No, I'm excited
Yeah.
for this to come out. All right. We'll keep going.
Well, thank you for joining us, Gume. It was a fantastic little
you.
guest star moment.
Yeah.
Thanks for the little feature.
Thank you for being here. Go check out Gume on YouTube and on Twitch.
Real. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Alrighty.
It's we're a bit over time. I do want to do the CSC section, so let's
do it
get her
quick.
going, bud.
Bet. All right. So in the Wiz section, Gume won with 17 points. Second place, we got 2 people, Spiral Shadows and Final Bastion. They were awesome. And third place, the Wizheads. And then fourth place, we will not name them because we're very short on time. But great job, everyone that competed there. For the Pirate101 team, DemonAxe, being me, won at first place. Oh my god. With 16 points, second place, Final Bastion. Final Bastion being second place on both, right? Wiki101, which is actually
Let's go.
also Chris's team, also being on the Pirate101 leaderboard, which is awesome. And we did the voice acting part together, and we're also CSC part together, which is awesome. And fourth place, Crescent Lounge, which is awesome because their points were actually all based off one challenge, and they placed fourth place, which was the speedrun challenge, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All
So that
right.
was from Lucky's run.
So, Hawk, questions to
Lucky.
you. Your overall thoughts. Let's go.
I think year one of the Community Spiral Cup is a fantastic proof of concept. Isolated as an event in itself, oh, I have so many thoughts. There's so many. We have the community team has this mega meeting planned for the next CSC, which I believe I'm jumping ahead on the questions here.
Mhm.
But we do have plans for CSC this year. And to answer the first question everyone's going to ask, it is going to happen at a different time.
Awesome.
I apologize for everyone's whose exams, Demon, that were happening during the CSC.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's part of the notes
The learning.
that I have going forward.
I still
Yeah,
got A's in all of
turns-
my classes, though.
Still got A's and got all the bonus points.
Let's go.
Distill your hustle and sell it in bottles because people will buy it.
All right, done. Consider it done. All right. Did it meet KI's expectations, Hawk?
KI's expectations was data, gathering data. It's the biggest community event we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most number of free memberships that we have ever given away at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a considerable undertaking done with a budget of labor costs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic data discovery. I won't go too deep into it, but the primary goal was to have our communities interact with each other in novel ways and compete in a friendly environment.
Mm-hmm.
That did happen. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people got to play our game for free. So
that was definitely
nice.
Fun. Like I had a blast, competing in it, and I met so many people like from outside my community that I would have never otherwise, which I really enjoyed. Yeah.
That was the whole point. That's what we wanted to have happen, and it did.
All right, I think you already answered this question, but will we be seeing a return as the CSC as a return as a yearly event?
I can mostly confirm that it is happening this year.
Awesome. All right. So
I hesitate to say this is a new yearly thing that KI is going to do.
Okay, I'll take it.
But the community team is planning for CSC 23.
CSC 2023. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done differently in a few, on a base level?
The biggest change, aside from the date, going forward, is our worry and fear of cheaters ruining the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Cause the experience to sort of not ruin itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone here who participated will remember how convoluted the scoring system was,
mm-hmm.
how convoluted a lot of the security measures were
mm-hmm.
to prevent cheaters from having a major impact. Like with any large enough event or any large enough anything, you will have people messing it up for whatever their motivations are. If you get 100 people together and you say clap at the same time, whether by virtue of not paying enough attention or someone being in there and clapping off rhythm just because they want to,
mm-hmm.
and getting 1,000+ people to all participate in a tournament where you're exclusively designing it so that people can play it off free accounts,
mm-hmm.
and also trying to have a 100% no cheater rate,
mm-hmm.
led to some design decisions that were incredibly convoluted and difficult to follow for the average person. So balancing what are our security measures to prevent cheating, and how do we design the scoring system so that there can be no ties and it is incredibly secure, needs work.
Okay.
But I can say this relatively certainly: the winners did not cheat.
Let's go.
And that
confirm
that was really important, because making thank you. Making the Community Spiral Cup is what CSC stands for. Making the prize for the event a permanent change to the video games made me kind of nervous. But it was super effing cool. So yeah.
Awesome. Gumei's asking a quick question. Will returning teams be able to participate again, and will there be alternate rewards, or that's something you probably still have to discuss with planning the next CSC?
Yeah, we've got a lot to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this: the entire point of the CSC is having communities participate.
Mm-hmm.
So we will do our darndest to ensure that everyone who wants to participate can.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Except
right.
Chris.
Except Chris.
Except everyone but him is invited back.
All right.
It's all right.
What challenge was your favorite talk? And then Chris and me can answer this too, since we also competed. And for the people that competed in chat too, you're more than welcome to tell us which challenge was your favorite. We had the PvP, we had the speedrunning, the decorating, and the gathering.
The decorating, I have such a huge heart for the decorating community, and I'm sorry that challenge was convoluted and weird in a few areas. But boy howdy, the decorating folks are incredibly fun to design events for, because there's an enormous amount of creativity in it. If you know PvP well enough, you can see the creativity when you give them specific challenges, but at the time I was not familiar enough with PvP to design a creative challenge.
Okay.
And the sheer level of participation and insanity that some people brought to the collection challenge was flooring. Uriah and I were poring over data and doing enormous amounts of math to ensure that the people that got the most pillows or the most of the collection items could statistically have done so without drinking 8 Monster Energies a day for 2 weeks straight. And we verified all the data and did the math, and using the techniques that some people were using to collect, we did the math out. We're like, okay, it's insane what they did, but they did it, and that's impressive. What were y'all's favorites?
What about you, Chris?
My favorite was definitely the pillow fight, or collecting the pillows. That was my favorite.
I really enjoyed pirate PvP because I had no idea what I was doing at first, and I had like a bunch of people from my community, and this goes back to meeting people from outside my community. Is I had people from other teams also helping me learn how to PvP because I had no idea what I was doing. I also really liked well, it's a love-hate relationship with the gathering. I loved farming nefarious gear because I didn't have nefarious gear. But also the drop rates were trash. Like at least for me, like I don't know if anyone else can like say that they had like terrible drop rates, but I just wasn't getting any gear. So I got the gear I wanted, but you know, at what cost?
Only a little bit of sanity.
Just a little bit of sanity. But yeah, like I most of my team were fairly casual / new pirate players, so I was really impressed by the stuff we were able to achieve, you know, in like the PvP and speedrunning and gathering and all that stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of PvP, if you know anyone that is into PvP, you can immediately get amazing private lessons from them, because they love adding people to the pool of enemies that they can absolutely whoop their butts.
You are not wrong.
And also, you know, community and having friends liking the same things you do, yada yada yada.
I mean,
mostly they just want to kick someone's butt.
What I did is I just sat like in Pirate. I sat in Avery and in there, and if anyone entered the arena, I would just go, "Can we PvP, please?" And they would beat me so badly. But I legit halfway through the battle, I'm like, "Hey, should I do this or this?" And they're like, "Probably this one is smarter."
Well,
so yeah.
If you're a fan of Pirate101 PvP and you would like a queue system that is fantastic that someone has made, there's a server for people that like Pirate101 PvP, and you can use server commands to enter the queue, and a bot that the server owner modified will take care of everything. It is perfect. You don't have to sit in the game and wait for someone to walk up. You can just join the queue in the server, and then you will get a fight.
Awesome. And Hockley's dropped a link for the Discord in chat if anyone wants to join the Pirate101 Discord. Yeah, definitely. It's probably the most place that you'll find people to communicate with based off like about Pirate. So I highly recommend that.
Besides the Pirate101 Discord.
That's what I meant, the Pirate101 Discord.
This is a different Discord group.
Oh, besides the Pirate101, I was talking about the Pirate101 Discord, my bad. But yes.
Oh yeah, all good.
Yes. All right.
Is there a Wizard101 PvP community? Probably. I don't know.
It's probably several.
I'm not sure, actually, if there's like a Discord group for it or something. But
this is a pirate stream.
All right. And then we have art honorable mentions, and I just picked a few based off but just on Twitter, some of the art and meme honorable mentions. I couldn't pick that many, so I picked a few that really stood out to me that I enjoyed. Most of them are art. I have some memes, but because we're short on time, I'll try to rush through them too. But I included one that was from... Oh, wrong one. I included one that was from my community first because I'm biased like that. But, okay, I'll have to set that up. Okay, there we go. So this was by Ducky Bub, and she did an amazing job. She helped our, she helped, you know, us with a lot of art and stuff like that, and she's an amazing artist. Go check her out on Twitter. And this was for our Wizard101 entry. We have this one from Apparently Me 4, which is an amazing Malistaire portrait that they did. And it is beautiful. It is amazing. I should probably say the teams, right? They were in Gume's team. This is another entry that I really liked. I didn't pick based off teams, by the way, for the most part. But this is another entry from Gume's team. And the user is called Psychic Caves. And I just like this. I think it's so cute.
We love you, Psychic Caves. By the way, the community team has seen your name pop up in a lot of different places, and we're a big fan. Your art is really cute.
It is amazing. Our next one is a Pirate101 entry from the team Wiki101.
This was adorable.
And it was so good. I loved it. They did a great job on it. Our next entry is from the Greek community, I think. Yes, the Greek community. And
shout out to the Greek community. Holy cow.
They did a great job, especially with the last few art entries and stuff like that. They were amazing. But yeah, I love this. It's beautiful. And then the last one that I picked as an honorable mention was from the Spiral Shadows. And it is Shrike controlling the spiral. It's beautiful. I loved it.
This.
They did a great job on this one too.
They
and
really
then
did.
we got some memes that I picked out. There were a lot of entries for art and memes. I didn't pick out that many, but this one was a funny one that I found. For all the Wizard101 players, we know how much they like to bring back. They like to bring back characters that have died or took a break. So this speaks really deeply to me. This is Gume's the sitcom that he did, and it's very loud probably. I will not show it all, but the amount of effort that went into this is insane.
Oh my god, the editing hours this must have taken.
And this is a full-on like 4.5-minute video, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insanity. Didn't we give that one? That wasn't an honorable mention. I thought we gave that one.
that was a full-on win. It's an honorable mention
Yeah.
for the stream.
Oh, okay.
No, this
You're
won.
thinking like, I thought we gave a few of these before.
No, this definitely won. Also, his beautiful voice.
We love
Also,
Gume here.
Gume also like released like a full-on album on his YouTube channel for the Spiral Cup. But yes, we're short on time,
That
so
blew my
we're not gonna
mind.
watch that much. But amazing, beautiful. I included one of my memes, which felt weird, and I'm embarrassed. But I threw in one of them we can watch, which is the Malistaire fight one. It's a minute long.
You made a few
Malistaire, stop.
absurdly handcrafted artisans.
What are you doing here?
I am the wizard.
I just have to say I was debating whether or not to put any of my memes because I'm too embarrassed.
And yet
This one's
you
amazing.
won because of your
Stop
memes.
you from.
In part.
Oh, I backed out. Oops. Oopsie. I'll skip forward.
That's gonna defeat you.
How long did this one take you to make, start to finish?
I am here.
It didn't take that
to
long
stop
because
you
it's very
from
low effort
destroying
thing.
the spiral
So, but it took
and
like probably 4-ish
bringing
hours,
your
5-ish hours.
Wife back to life.
Alright,
Even
guys.
the low effort
Prepare
meme
to fight.
garbage takes an enormous amount of time and energy.
Yeah.
I forgot about the lasers.
Now let's start stop.
You have bested me, wizard.
Oh my stars.
Take me now. I am not worthy.
I'm just saying,
to
I think
be
I can
in
be
your
an actor.
presence. Almighty wizard.
Good.
I want an entire movie like this.
I'm just saying, if you guys decide to do a live action Wizard101 movie, I
Let's
need to be
Go,
noticed there.
team.
Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, I'd pay so much money for a community-made
Movie.
101 movie.
Consider it done. All right, let's gather all the actors in the community and make that happen. This is a
But
Mhm.
it would be an enormous undertaking, but the community has enough talented artists, actors, and editors to make a feature-length film.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, the Wiz community is extremely talented. It's just the amount of work that would go into that is
Mhm.
insane. Plus, you
We'll
said
just
you'd
start
pay a
making
lot of
people
money
put
for
in
it,
an
so it'll just
hour
be
of
funded
work
by
to do a
Hawk.
raid. Fully funded by me.
Fully funded by Hawk.
Here's $100. Everyone gets a gumball.
Each one gets a quarter. Done. This is a meme by Wiki101, and I found very relatable. It's the pillow fight meme in Wiz. I mean,
Another
Pirate.
one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one. Another one.
And also, everyone that
Another
was
one.
in
Another one.
Wiz would also relate with the novice gear too. The
Oh yeah.
the amount of gear that you got and you would have to trash. And then this is the last one. Also related to the Gathering Challenge. I think that's the one that we probably got the most memes from because it was the most brutal challenge. But yeah, from the Valorant Explorers. And I saw this and laughed so hard. So
Love
yeah.
it.
All right. That is everything I got. I did rush through the memes and the art, but it's because we've been going on for like 2.5 hours, which is insane.
Yeah, we have
Yeesh,
a
man.
fantastic stream.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
Same.
Yeah.
This was so enjoyable for me.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, Hawk.
An
and
absolute pleasure.
Chris face reveal, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, Chris of Wiki101 of Voices of the Spiral. Go follow him on Twitter,
Wait.
Voices of the Spiral.
The cameras are
the
frozen.
good work.
They've been frozen for like the past 5 minutes, but I didn't have the heart to tell you, so.
What? Why didn't you say anything? Why did nobody say anything?
Well, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Thank you for all the followers and the raids, and I don't know what else I missed. I know I missed probably a lot. But thank you. I appreciate you all.
And from the entire community team that's been talking to me and making comments about the stream, from all of us to y'all, thank you so much. Our jobs are incredibly fun, in large part because of y'all. We feel enormously lucky. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, y'all.
Love you too.